Alright, it's time to review this atrocious industrial area. This is not good. That's going to be part one of what we're going to be doing. Another thing is we gotta move this general industrial area probably a little bit more to the south, like out here where we have the green field. So we're going to be going out there, probably going to add a couple of offices there as well. Also, we will get to 70,000 today. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when, even if I have to sit here for hours, although I hope not. Our third objective, we're gonna keep a secret for now, so continue on watching to find out. But for now, let me just destroy everything here real quick. Alright, I've destroyed everything. As you can see, I redid the road network a little bit. Hopefully that's gonna be helping out. Destroyed everything out here, mostly because it's a little bit more of a nuisance trying to move things around rather than to build everything anew. And redid the railroad network as well, so hopefully that's going to be working properly, but I'm just blabbering on. Let's get into it. So what I'm thinking is we're going to start with our oil industry, since that's going to be making us a ton of money. What I'm thinking is we're going to have our raw material production out here, and then we're going to be making like petroleum, plastics out here or something like that. And then they're going to have easy access to send that out. Hopefully that's not going to be too much of a nuisance, but let's see. And then I think we're just going to be going with the big pumps out here. I think small ones, although they do look kind of nice, they don't produce as much as we need. So we're not going to worry about them too much. And then we're just going to be putting a bunch of these facilities out here, so they have a storage area. Maybe not out there. Let's actually roll on this road network. Reuse this. There you go. A lot better now. Put this guy out here. Obviously they need water. We're going to get to that in a second. Before we do anything else out there, let's continue on making actual production buildings. It's going to be producing petroleum. Let's take a look if there is something a little bit better. So this one's producing 8,000 units of petroleum. And yeah, I guess we're going to be going with this guy. So it doesn't take much space. So what we can do is grab a smaller road. And I'm thinking we're going to go out here. And then probably something along lines like this. There you go. Let's connect this road out here as well, just so there is a complete circle, whatnot. So we're going to be skipping a couple on that side. And then we can do the following here. So let's just put 4. We will be adding a little bit more later on, depending on how much we actually need. As of right now, I did not actually do the math of how much we're going to need. And then plastics out here. So this one's producing 8,000. Compared to this guy who's producing 4,000. So obviously we're going to be going with the 8,000, and we probably want to make this a little bit bigger, since these guys are a little bit bigger than I initially anticipated. We are going to be destroying this road network, grabbing this guy, going back out here, and I think placing this guy. Yeah, that looks all right. And then we can actually place another one going this way, with just a little bit of space out there, and then make sure that this one's a little bit closer to the middle. Okay, so that's fine, that's fine. So all in all, I think this is what the general area is gonna look like. We might get to the point of decorating this a little bit, but not at the moment. And time to add some water pipes. Alright, there we go, we're all done. I've added water pipes, I've added some electricity, so these guys should be working just fine now, and we're gonna give them a minute or two to actually figure out what they're doing. And while they're gonna be figuring that out, I think we're gonna head on over this way. So what I'm thinking out here is we're gonna have our industrial area probably somewhere out here. Just trying to figure out which way I should be going. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Alright. Okay, and that's not what I wanted to do. Let's do it Let's do it a little bit differently. Okay, so let's grab this guy probably. Okay, I think this right here is going to be fine. Just going to be bringing this guy right about here. Bringing this out here. This is going to be our general industrial area. I'm just gonna add a road probably somewhere out here, just so these guys have easier access, whatnot. We probably want to go this way as well, just to have a little bit more. And this area actually looks a little bit smaller than I anticipated. But that's fine, and that's fine. What I think we are going to be doing is adding a couple of offices here. Just nothing on the main road out here, because otherwise it's going to get too crowded, and we don't want that happening. Alright, there you go. I built the red network. I decided to connect it out here just in case. I might do something out here later on. We'll see. No promises just yet. Oh, and what's going on here? Oh, okay. So these guys are having a little bit of trouble, I think. Yeah, I think this is going to be fine. Out here, that's not going to be fine. There you go. Give these guys... okay, there you go. That's going to be better. That's going to be better. Alright, that should not be an issue. I'm just gonna let these guys go. Hopefully in a couple of minutes that's gonna go down. Otherwise, what we could do is probably this. Give these guys way, since most of them are gonna be going this way anyway. And these guys kind of wait their turn. I think that's gonna be fine. And we'll come back to that and see if we gotta do something out there or not. As of right now, we're continuing on out here. So I did add a police station, a fire department in both areas, just in case. Hopefully that's going to be fine. And as I was saying, I'm going to be adding a couple of offices here by this road network out here. And I think that's going to be more than enough. I don't want to put too much out here, because otherwise it's going to become a little bit too chaotic. And add these guys here, add these guys here, here, and there. Probably nothing alongside this road. And just a little bit out here. Yeah, I think that's going to be fine. And electricity-wise, we're doing pretty good with electricity. We're just waiting for these guys to connect one way or another. We're going to help them out real quick. And the traffic did go down out here, so that's great. Trains are doing amazing, so that's pretty good. And as you can see, this is already looking a little bit better, and we're gonna leave this area for now. And we gotta keep an eye on this guy out here, since he might become a little bit too strained. So I'll keep an eye on him. And I think that's all we want to do with this area as of right now. Everything looks like it's doing pretty good. We are making a ton of money, so there's not too much oil left over after they make petroleum and plastic, so that's good. And we're making about 20k, which is amazing. This area is going to continue on growing. The only thing I want to do out here is make sure that the traffic out here is going to be okay. So we want to make sure you guys get away. You guys get away, since this is going to be our main road. I don't want anybody getting stuck out here, so they should be going. And I can't remember if I did this or not, so let's just do it. And everybody should be fairly happy. There you go. I think this is gonna work out quite nicely. Alright, and without further ado, our second objective is to actually reach those 70,000 that I was talking about. Alright, I did the road network out here, and I've added a couple of necessary buildings out here, like parks. That's not a park, that's actually a cemetery, so that's not good. I hope you don't think that that's... Okay, never mind. As I said, a couple of parks here and there. There's a botanical garden. There is actually a public library here as well. What I'm thinking out here is we're gonna go with low density alongside this road out here. I'll probably build these guys a little bit too close. I probably want to make them a little bit smaller, just so we have enough space here for these guys. And yeah, there you go. Let's put them out here. Probably want to put a couple of them out here as well. And we want to put them by this main road in this city, just so the trucks have an easier time getting out here. Otherwise, it's going to be chaotic, and we don't want that. I'm not going to be putting anything out here. Maybe like a couple out here. I think we can pull that off. Next, I think we're going to go with high density. and high density we're going to be putting on this side, because this actually is the main road out here. Oh, actually, I don't want these guys churning out here. That's not what we want to happen. So we gotta fix this real quick. Everybody's churning out here. And hopefully they're gonna start using proper channels out here instead of doing whatever they're trying to do. Oh, and actually in this road network, all of these roads have bicycle lanes, so that should be helping out quite a bit as well with traffic managing. And now we are going to be adding low density residential in this general area. And the train, we are eventually gonna get rid of this line here, move it someplace else, but for right now we're gonna leave it. Actually, we might leave this whole area out here empty, just add a bunch of trees since this is a highway, so we do not want people running out there, so we'll see what happens. And then high density. And hopefully, this is going to be enough to get myself, oh, looks like it's 6,500. Out here, this is going to be offices. That's not going to be anything else. It's just going to be silly old offices. Maybe not on this road, though, since that might become a little bit of a nuisance. And just adding a bunch of these guys out here. And I had to destroy this out here a little bit just so I can fit this cemetery. Otherwise, it was just jumping all over the place. It was crazy. All right, the traffic started moving once again. There's still going to be a couple of cars out here stuck, but that's all right. Eventually, they're going to go down. It's just this little spot out here where everybody's trying to reach, and you know. What we could do to help out is add a couple of pathways for these guys, primarily to get over to the other side here, to the farms. Alright, I fixed the traffic. There is a little bit residue left out here, as you can see. These guys are just trying to make this little circle, so once they do complete this cycle, I think we're gonna be in a good enough position. Alright, and our third and final thing for today is gonna be to reach hotels level 4 or so. So that's our plan. So without further ado, let's actually take a look here real quick at our existing hotels, at our popularity. So this one's pretty bad, only 40%. So let's take a look at what he needs. So he needs a lot of sightseeing, he needs a lot of shopping, and a little bit of nature. So right now where he's at, not a very good spot, not a very good spot at all. Alright, so here is the basic road layout that I'm thinking I'm gonna go with. We might need to improve this or redo this a little bit, but overall I think this is gonna be fine. And there you go. Let's start adding a couple of more hotels here since we did unlock level 3 now, so that's pretty nice. So this one out here, Boat Hotel. These guys need a bunch of nature and a bunch of shopping, a little bit of sightseeing. So as you can see, there is a bunch of nature out here, shopping that's going to be right over here, and sightseeing, we will add a couple of things here and there. For now though, we will add these guys right about here. Alright, now water lines have been added, and that should make my life a little bit easier. There is a couple of more hotels, but this one's a mountain lodge, and there is no mountains here by the beach. And then there's the City Hotel, which needs a lot of shopping and a lot of offices, so it really doesn't go in this area very well at all. So we we'll do the following. Since these guys need a lot of shopping, what I'm thinking we're gonna do is actually gonna go with high density commercial, and we're gonna put that right into these two spots out here, and I think that's gonna be good. Then we're gonna take low density and we're gonna put it out here, and then we can add a couple of plazas out here or something like that. Or better yet, we could actually, oh right, I was gonna add some volleyball courts. Okay, so here's what we can do. These guys are actually not that big, so we can add one of these guys probably right about here, and another one, this one's even smaller. Oh, where do you want them? Like right about here. I think that's gonna be fine. On the beach side, yeah, there you go. That's a pretty small one. Pretty small, simple one. And then there's this one out here that's a little bit bigger, plus it has concrete on here, so this will actually fit in here quite nicely with the overall theme of a bunch of different commercial zones. And actually, now that I think about it, we can add actually another one out here perhaps, or better yet, let's see if there's any other hotels that we can add. And there's a couple of hotels out here, so that's pretty nice. Like this one with a pool, so that's gonna look quite nice. And we actually want to make sure that he's looking over towards the sea. So I think right over here is gonna be a good spot. There you go. And now these guys are going to be looking towards the sea, towards these hotels out here. So that's going to be nice. We could also add a couple of other things out here. So there is a couple of things out here that we could use. So there's a fishing island, which we could actually add out here as a pretty nice destination for these guys. So there you go. All right, there you go. So I moved this guy out here, the fishing island. So that should be pretty nice. And also I moved this hotel a little bit closer to the water, whatnot, so, and added a couple of shops out here, like the ice cream stand plaza, and then there is the small food truck plaza. So that should be pretty nice for these guys out here. Everybody should be fairly happy. These guys out here, they're still crying about shopping. Oh, this guy out here is crying about shopping quite a bit. So we need to add a little bit more for the shopping aspect of things. So what I'm thinking is we are going to continue on with the high density. I think we're going to add a couple of here, a couple of here, and a couple of guys out here. Yeah, there you go. I think that's going to be fine. And a couple of smaller ones right about here. Fire coverage here is actually fairly bad, so what we can do is add a fire department out here. Obviously that means that police department is not going to be doing too hot, and a small hospital area out here. I'm thinking we're actually gonna add the hospital out here, so a little bit further away from those two guys, just to give these guys a little bit of peace. And everybody should be happy. This guy, he's at an 82% rating, which is actually pretty nice. We're gonna up him a little bit. This guy is a little bit lower, so we're still waiting for him to make something happen. We could actually add a statue of shopping out here, which I think would go quite nicely into this area. I think we want to add this guy probably right about here. There we go. So that's going to be nice. There's also a shopping plaza, which I think might go quite well, maybe into this territory out here. So, and there you go. I mean, this one's at 40 now. This guy's at 22, so not where I want him to be, but still not too bad. I mean, they're getting there. They're getting there. And I think what we want to do out here to make this area look finished up is we want to add a couple of palm trees. So let's just add a bunch of them out here just to make this area look a little bit better. And maybe you go with some other generic date palm. So there you go, add a couple of these guys. All right, and going into managing hotels, so now we're making about 8,000, which is not that bad. I mean, these guys out here, everybody's pretty happy. These guys, 79%. I think we could make this a little bit better. Terraforming here, there you go, just a little bit, nothing too major. And then what we want to do is soften this up just a little tiny bit and add a couple more shops. There you go. I think out here that's going to be more than enough. Everybody should be happy. The only thing we could actually add here is maybe a unique building if there is a proper one. All right, there you go. And this area is now, I think, pretty much done. So I've added a fan zone park out here. which has a pretty nice view of the ocean or the sea or whatever you want to call that. So people should be pretty happy going out here. Also, I did add this small flower plaza out here, which I think looks pretty nice. I mean, it's close to the hotel, so there is something to do out here. Quite a few things actually for these guys to do out here. And also I've added this fortress as a unique building of this area, not counting the fan zone. That's just a fan zone. But an actual building, and it looks pretty nice. I mean, look at this fortress. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. And these guys out here are getting a little pretty happy. I mean, this guy out here, 89%. This guy out here is 100%, which is actually pretty nice. So this area out here, I consider this to be done. The only thing I'm worried about here is actually death care. So let's take a look at that. Yeah, so there is no death care out here, which kind of sucks. So what I think we can do is add this guy right about here. Now it should be reaching everybody. Then with that area done, it's time to focus on these city hotels. Oh, they're a little bit costly, 150k per one. But they only need a lot of shopping, and they need a lot of business. Almost no sightseeing. We have quite a bit of sightseeing out here, a little bit of shopping unfortunately, but a lot of business. So I think this guy, we can safely put him probably right about here or so, and I think he's gonna fit in quite nicely. If not, we could always actually change them to look a little bit different. Yeah, there you go. So what this one does is just makes them a little bit different. So there's couple of variants, and then these guys just add a little bit of that guy coming out. There you go. I think we're gonna go with this variant out here. Looks absolutely beautiful, and what do you know, 100%. So we're gonna up this right off the bat, and I'm thinking we can actually add a couple of more, probably like in this general area out here, since there is quite a bit of shopping and quite a bit of business, a little bit of sightseeing. Let's try to put him up against, oh no, can't do that. Doesn't allow me to do so, but that's all right. Let's just put him up, and the road is in the way. There's always something in the way. So this one's at 100% as well, so there you go. I think we're gonna go with variation number 2 on this one. And how far away are we from 4 stars? Actually not that far, maybe like a couple of more of these guys or something like that. Let's put them like right against these guys out here. I think this is gonna be just fine. So obviously no sightseeing, he's at 85%. We will add a couple of things here eventually for sightseeing, so we should be okay. I'm gonna leave it at 30. And maybe make him a little bit smaller. Yeah, there you go. So he doesn't look like that's the biggest building out here. Now it looks like it fits in, so I like that. All right, and there you go. We have reached our weekly profit of 16,000 on these guys. So that should have opened a couple of more hotels. There you go. And as I was saying, and so there's a conference hotel now as well for 250k. But this guy mainly needs a bunch of offices, a little shopping, a little sightseeing. So putting this guy somewhere out here would actually be quite nice. I mean, we can destroy quite a bit of these guys. And let's see here. I think we can put this guy like right about here and call it a day. Yeah, that looks absolutely beautiful. There is no variation on this guy. Almost no shopping for this guy either, but that's fixable. What we can do is actually grab you guys out here, and this is not looking all too hot. So let's do the following. There you go. That should be okay. Probably nothing out here. And there you go. This is going to be absolutely beautiful. Just adding a little bit of shopping out here for these guys. I think that does make a little bit of sense. And everybody should be fairly happy. Maybe add a couple of more guys out here and a couple of smaller shops out here. So this should be adding quite a bit to this guy, and we can up him right off the bat because this guy is going to get to 100%, so we should be fine. Look at that, everybody. It's almost full. It's almost full already, and we're making about 5,000 from him, so that's pretty nice. So there is a spa resort which needs a lot of sightseeing and a lot of shopping. I think we can still put this guy out here at some point, at some place. So let's just do that, and then we can obviously move this guy just a little bit. There you go. Adding this guy to about here, and then grabbing a road, making sure that everything connects, and there you go. We can now move this guy to make sure everything's looking good. There you go. It's at 100% already, so that's perfect. We're just gonna up the price. It does only take on 70 people, unfortunately, so it's not that much, but it's still gonna be making us quite a bit of money. I think we did pretty much everything we wanted with these hotels, so let's take a look at what's going on with our industry. And what I'm thinking we could do out here, since there is quite a bit of guys who are trying to go out, what we could do is just add a road out here, and hopefully that's going to be enough. Probably not this kind of road, so let's do the following. Upgrade this guy. So once again, to make our life a little bit easier, I think what we got to do is destroy this road out here, since obviously this is becoming a little bit too straining on these guys, and redo this road out here a little bit. Alright, I redid the road work out here a little bit just to make this a little bit easier. I've added this little thing out here because there's way too many cars going in here. So this should make it a little bit easier. I've also connected this road out here just so these guys out here who are trying to reach this guy don't go all the way around to this roundabout, because that's putting too much strain on it. And everything here looks to be working just fine, except for this guy who needs a little bit of electricity, and he shall have it here momentarily. So there we go. Everything seems to be working just fine. And as I was saying, it is time to add a little bit of industry out here. I'm thinking we're just going to be adding a couple of smaller ones or something like that, maybe a couple of bigger ones, but overall nothing too crazy. I don't want this to be something too big whatsoever. All right, there we go. Adding a little bit more of industry, and these guys should be operating quite nicely. Hopefully everything will be working properly. If not, we'll come back to it. And it looks like there is a little bit of traffic going on here, but I think overall, give it a couple of minutes, this should go down as always. And there you go, guys. We've reached 70,000 populations. That's everything we wanted to accomplish for today, so that's great. We got everything we needed. We unlocked another piece of land, but that's gonna be a story for another time. As of for today, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Scorpion out.